Civil Code of the Philippines, Easement, Chapter 2, Legal Easement, Section 1, General Provisions, Article 634. Easement imposed by law have for their object either public use or the interest of private persons. Article 635. All matters concerning easement established for public or communal use shall be governed by the special law and regulations relating thereto, and in the absence thereof, by provisions of this title. Article 636. Easement established by law in the interest of a private persons or of private use shall be governed by the provisions of this title, without prejudice to the provisions of general or local laws and ordinances for the general welfare. This easement may be modified by agreement of the interested parties whenever the law does not prohibit or no injury is suffered by a third person. Section 2, easement relating to waters. Article 637 was superseded by Article 50 of PD number 1067, Water Code of the Philippines, which states lower estate are obliged to receive the waters which naturally and without the intervention of man flow from the higher estate, as well as the stone or earth which they carry with them. The owner of the lower estate cannot construct works which will impede this natural flow unless he provides an alternative method of drainage. Neither can the owner of the higher estate make works which will increase this natural flow. Article 638 was superseded by Article 51 of PD number 1067, Water Code of the Philippines, which states the banks of rivers and streams and the shores of the seas and lakes throughout their entire length and within a zone of 3 meters in urban areas, 20 meters in agricultural areas, and 40 meters in forest areas, along their margins, are subject to the easement of public use in the interest of recreation, navigation, floatage, fishing, and salvage. No person shall be allowed to stay in this zone longer than what is necessary for recreation, navigation, floatage, fishing, or salvage, or to build structures of any kind. Article 639 was superseded by Article 38 and 39 of PD number 1067, Water Code of the Philippines, which state Article 38, authority for the construction of dams, bridges, and other structure across of which may be interfere with the flow of navigable or floatable waterways shall first be secured from Department of Public Works, Transportations and Communication. Article 39. Except in cases of emergency to save life or property, the construction or repair of the following works shall be undertaken only after the plans and specification therefore, as may be required by the Council, are approved by the proper government agency. Dams for the diversion or storage of water, structure for the use of water power, installation for the utilization of subterranean or groundwater, and other structures for utilization of water resources. Article 640, compulsory easement for drawing water or for watering animals can be imposed only for reason of public use in favor of a town or village after payment of the proper indemnity. Article 641, easement for drawing water and for watering animals carry with them the obligation of the owners of the servant estate to allow passage to persons and animals to the place where such easement are to be used, and the indemnity shall include this service. Article 642 to 649 must be correlated with Article 49 of the PD number 1067, the Water Code of the Philippines, which state any person having an easement for an aqueduct may enter upon the servant land for the purpose of cleaning, repairing, and or replacing the aqueduct for removal or the removal of obstruction therefrom. Okay. Article 642. Any person who may wish to use upon his own estate any water of which he can dispose shall have the right to make it flow through the intervening estate with the obligation to indemnity their owners, as well as the owners of the lower estate upon which the waters may filter or cease. Article 643. One desiring to make use of the right granted in the preceding article is obliged 1. To prove that he can dispose of the water and it is sufficient for the use for which it is intended. 2. To show that the proposed right-of-way is the most convenient and the least onerous to third persons. 3. To indemnify the owner of the servant estate in the manner determined by the laws and regulations. Article 644. The easement of aqueduct for private interest cannot be imposed on buildings, country yards, annexes, or outhouses, or on orchards or gardens already exist. Article 645. The easement of aqueduct does not prevent the owner of the servant estate from closing or fencing it, or from building over the aqueduct in such manner as not to cause the latter any damage, or render necessarily repairs and cleanings impossible. Article 646. For legal purposes, the easement of aqueduct shall be considered as continuous and apparent, even though the flow of the water may not be continuous, or it depends upon the needs of the dominant estate, or upon a schedule of alternative days or hours. Article 647. One who, for the purpose of irrigating or improving his estate, has to construct a stop lock or sluice gate in the bed of the stream from which the water is to be taken may demand that the owners of the banks permits its construction after payment of damages, including those caused by the new easement, to such owners and to the other irrigators. Article 648. The establishment, extent, form, and conditions of the servitude of waters to which this section refers shall be governed by the special laws relating thereto insofar as no provision therefore is made in this code.